So we are officially in the middle of the unofficial great American holiday that's called spring break. And now, don't get me wrong, and I'm gonna feel a bit like an old man as I lay my cards on the table, but I love how spring break functions, and I also find it just broadly entertaining, right? I love the fact that so many people take off and go on vacation, which I think is awesome and great. And it also makes me smile that you can see a continual line of Michigan license plates and ZPS bumper stickers well down into Tennessee every year, that it makes me smile, right? So we're in the middle of this season, and honestly, I love it, right? I love it if you've gone south and you're somewhere warm and you're sitting on a beach, that's great for you. And I love it for those of us that stick around to some degree too, because it gives us time and space to reflect. Things feel a little bit slower, they're not quite as intense. And we're also at one of those markers where it feels like old man winter is sliding out and we're finally turning and looking at spring and what this next season and rhythm looks like. And for us as a church, what that means, the next season is really Easter, where we get to come together and celebrate what happened in the foundation, right? The principle upon which all of our faith is built, that there was a guy who was of God, who died and rose again. And Easter is one of those times that I think broadly our culture has this weird feeling for, kind of like Christmas. There's a big chunk of the American population that wants to come to an Easter service, but they don't come to church regularly and they're not sure who they want to go with. They don't want to go alone, they want to go, and really they want to be invited. And it creates an opportunity for us, right? And to think about how we engage with our faith and our culture in this time, in this place, right? And again, this is the spring break moment for me. It allows me to pop up, look around and go, oh, this is where we are. Oh, this is what's next. And so as we function as a church that's not confined to the building, but one where our faith impacts everything, I want to invite and encourage you to think about that. How do you engage as a person and as a follower of Jesus in that moment when you can look around and be like, oh, so-and-so, my friend Tony or Jane, right? Or Steve or Betsy, they are open and willing to have a conversation. I don't know how they feel about church. I don't know how they feel about Jesus, but they're interested in something here. And I want to encourage you to think of the people in your life that need a word of grace and truth and need to come and celebrate and be reminded of a story they're vaguely familiar with or heard at some stage, but aren't deeply connected with, right? Because that's what we do. And our faith is somehow both private and it's the transformation of ourselves, and it's always public as well, right? It's the thing that we see when Jesus is actually crucified, where there's this internal transformation within people, and at the same time it's a public event and spectacle. And so we want to encourage you, and I want to encourage you as you live into this season to think, who are those people that need some grace and some truth? Who are some people that need maybe a meal or a conversation? And really, who are the people that need to be reminded that they are part of a larger and greater story than the narrative that we're told day in and day out by our culture and society? Who needs that? Who longs for something more in your world and is ready to have a broader conversation? Grace and peace, friends. Have a good week. We'll see you around, whether you're sitting on a beach or sitting with the rest of us back home in the frigid north. Have a good one.